moment where the check comes and we are struggling to figure out the correct tip to leave. Is 20% too much? Is 10% too little? Well, we pulled you guys earlier to see what the least amount of tip you are going to give, and the results are in. Let's take a look. Here's the poll on TakePart.com, and 34% of you said that the least you would tip is zero, nothing. 10% said 31%, 15% said 18%. I know we also have tweets that are coming in live right now from some of you guys that are watching the show, and here's what you had to say. Here's a tweet from Shea who says, I tip 20% always unless I do the math wrong, hashtag tipping point. Here's another tweet from Brandon who says, I tip the same, 20% or more, depending on the service I receive.
More. Good
servers deserve a pay increase. Brandon's loaded, obviously. And one tweet from Teresa who says, no, tips are an incentive for servers to provide good service, even in LA, where servers earn minimum wage, hashtag tipping point. So did you guys know that there is a federal minimum wage for people that make tips? So so what do you think it is? Do you know what it is?
I was a waiter for a very long time.
Yeah.
I think it hovered somewhere around $3.
$2.13.
Hey, let's party.
Is that not
all
crazy?
You have to pay a waitress?
A lot of people don't. I called my friend who owns a restaurant in New York. We've talked about him before on the show, before the segment. He says a lot of people don't know there's something called a tip credit. So an employer can actually subtract the amount that the person gets in tips if the employee makes enough tips and pay as low as $2.13.
Yeah, I mean, I was never a waitress, but
You missed out.
I have done, like, hard internships and things like that. Not the same thing at all, but I think manual labor, I'm not, whatever.
Megan's been through the grind.
I know, it's not.
Megan, it's okay.
I'm not going to win this battle. What I have to say is that I think manual labor of any kind, or even just the service industry in general, is the hardest job ever. And you see what people are all the time. I mean, I try and tip as much as possible. I mean, like 20, 25%. You have to really, like, spit in my food and scream at me in order for me
I don't think there should be a federal minimum wage for people that make tips, because a lot of people, that means when you're tipping people, are you really thinking about actually that this is actually part of their salary, not like a little bonus that you're giving to them? Normally when you're tipping, you're thinking, oh, I'm giving a little love right now to somebody, not I'm actually just paying their normal paycheck.
For me, I waited tables for 10 years, so I feel like I'm paying their wage.
Exactly.
And, you know, if someone doesn't give me good service, they're not gonna get it. But in general, the idea that people are tipping less or just don't think it's something you should do, that's a little weird to me.
Yeah, guys, and in many countries, including in Europe, you don't even have to tip because people actually get a living wage when you're working in a restaurant.
They get offended in Europe.
That's exactly right, if you tip them, because it's
I'm well paid. Take your money back.
So where do you guys fall when it comes to tipping? We all want to raise the minimum wage for tip-based salaries from $2.13, but would you leave 0% for particularly bad service? Let us know in the comments, like this video, subscribe to Take Part Live, and watch more videos below.